Hi, this is Vanessa with Growportunity, and today we're going to talk about boundaries. What are boundaries, how to set boundaries, and how to work on them to have better ones and have a happier life. Growportunity is a channel where we talk about personal development. Personal development can be anything related to your finances, to your spiritual development, mental, physical, emotional growth. And some of the videos are facts and studies, and some other ones are opinion and experiences. Today is a lot about experiences and opinions, so please share yours. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe so the algorithm can help grow this channel. And I will really appreciate your opinion on this, because boundaries are one of the most important things that we need to set in our lives. But funny enough, is one of the things that we almost never think about. It actually took me many years to understand boundaries. I even kind of just recently really clicked. So this is why I'm making this video, because maybe it'll help someone else realize certain things about themselves. So boundaries. What do you think about when I say the word boundary? You think about something like a fence, right? Something like a wall. There's a line, there's a limit, something that surrounds you or something, right? It's a fence. So that's exactly what boundaries are. But how do we really know what our boundaries are? Comment down below. Do you know exactly your boundaries, and do you know when you or someone is crossing that line? Well, I'm going to tell you a story which is really funny, but it makes so much sense. I have a dog. He's like sleeping somewhere over there. My dog Rocco, I brought him to my friend's house. My friend just bought a beautiful house, and she has a big backyard. And none of those houses, very few have fences around the backyard. Like mostly they are open and they're like very far apart, so you can see the other houses, but everybody's separate. But there's only a couple of houses that have a fence. Everybody's just pretty much open space. And I trusted my dog going outside without a leash, because he has been outside with no leash many times, and he always stays around me. He's a very good dog. Well, that day, the area for him was so new and so exciting that he saw that there's no fence, and he thought, oh my God, freedom, bye. And he left, and I couldn't find him for like 3 hours. So whose fault is that? The dog for running away, or me for letting him go when there's no fence, when there's no boundaries, there's no limit to where he could go or stop or keep going? A lot of times people may cross boundaries without really knowing that there is a boundary there, or that there should be a boundary there. Why? Because you don't say it. You know that phrase, which actually kind of like stings a little bit, when they say, people treat you the way you let them treat you. It's true. And it's so upsetting, because when I hear that, it's like, because some people are rude, some people are mean, some people are nasty. But you know, it is all about how you let them treat you. And so boundaries are important. You are the one who sets them, and you are the one who breaks them. A lot of times it's not other people, unless it's an extreme case when somebody comes in to rob your house violently. They are crossing a boundary without your control. But those are cases where, like, you know, it's like a big situation happening. But in the day-to-day life, it is all up to you. So when are we crossing our boundaries? When we say yes, when we actually want to say no. And it happens every day or every night. a couple, one of them is really stressed out, super tired from work. It's like up to here, we have so much going on and all this stuff. And one of them, is ready to have sexy time. And the partner, even though they are exhausted and they don't really want to, they agree to it and they say yes when they actually would like to say, not tonight. I'm really tired. I can't. And that is crossing a boundary. That is disrespecting yourself. But here's the catch. The funny thing is that that person, that partner, that spouse said yes with the best intentions of what? I don't want my spouse to be upset. I don't want them to lose attraction towards me. I want to make them happy. I want them to feel a certain way. I want them to do this. I want them to feel that. Is them, and then it's all about them. And then realize that you're putting somebody else before you. That is not really a good thing. I know that it is out of love or good intentions or to keep them, with you and everything, but we have to put ourselves before someone else. And everything can be balanced, like meet you halfway. If it's not tonight, it can be tomorrow night. But a lot of times we put someone else first all the time. And that is where it gets unhealthy. And it's not just about partners, friends. You put friends before you. When a friend asks you for money, maybe money that you don't really have, or you just have a little bit and they ask you for money, or they ask you for favors that you don't have time for, or they just ask you to listen for hours and hours and hours on the phone and you don't have that time, but you don't want to hang up and you don't want to say no because you don't want to upset them or make them feel bad. When you say yes, when you want to say no, you are letting people break those boundaries, and they may not even know because you don't say it, you don't speak, you don't say no, I cannot, I don't want to. So we are the ones who set the boundaries, but we are the ones who break them as well, thinking that we're doing something good or thinking that that is love. It is not. Anything that is not making you happy and it actually stresses you out is not out of love. Because think about the times that you said yes when you wanted to say no in anything, at work, with your friends, with your family, with your spouse, with your boyfriend and girlfriend. When you said yes to anything that they asked but you wanted to say no, what happened after that? How did you feel about that? Did you feel really excited and good? No, you were probably stressed out because you committed to things that you couldn't do or didn't really want to do. So you have a fake smile pretending that you're happy about it, but in your mind you're like, oh my God, why did I say yes? Why did I do this? So you're stressed out, you're burning energy, it causes you concerns. Imagine if you do this all the time. How much anxiety are you going to live with? How much stress are you going to accumulate for saying yes, for trying to be a people pleaser? Why are we people pleasers? Because we need people. This information I'm taking from some books that I found about boundaries. They are really, really interesting, and you should do some research about boundaries because these things are things that we don't really think about. So the book says that we need people. That's why we live in community, right? And if you really think about it, this is why cities are crowded. This is why we want to eat in busy restaurants. This is why we want to be where everybody else is, and we go to concerts and we feed off people's energy. This is why we are on social media, and this is why a lot of us get dopamine of likes and comments and more followers, because we need people, right? We validate each other. That's our nature. It's never, don't criticize yourself for wanting love and attention and eyes on you, because that is in our nature. We need validation, we need love, we need bonding. And so because we need people, our closest are very important to us. Especially our romantic partner is very, very important to us. So a lot of times, in order to keep that person with us, we say too many yeses. And we may become people pleasers. In order for you to keep your friends, in order for you to think that your family will love you more, you say yes to things, you give too much, you know, but who are you really making happy? Maybe you are making them happy, but then are you happy? You know, I used to say things like, so one of the reasons why I'm making this video is because I had a big issue with boundaries, but I didn't even know. And so in past relationships, I never thought of myself as a people pleaser because I didn't think that I was that way with my friends or family. I just thought I was pretty balanced. But I realized that may or may not be true. I do need to reassess my relationships, but I did assess my past romantic relationships. And I did realize that I was too much of a pleaser. If the person that I was seeing needed anything, I would go through anything to make them feel good, make them feel better, make them feel loved. And it was all about them. And I used to say things like, well, if they are happy, I'm happy. It makes me happy to make them happy. But then, you know, I realized that I dated some good people and people that, you know, will reciprocate and do things for me too. But I also dated some people who saw opportunity and took advantage of that. And when you come across those people, they want more and they want more and they want more. And they're like, and they just keep asking. And you become an easy target for those kind of people. So you have to be very, very careful about who you say yes to, how many yeses you agree to, and why. Is it because you want the person to stay? That's not a good reason to say yes to everything. Because why? If you say yes to everything the other person wants, that means that you're not speaking up about what you want. And maybe you're not even thinking about what you want. So when you make it all about them and you say yes when you want to say no, you're not being true to yourself. If you're not being true to yourself, that means that you are creating an image of someone that is not you, and that person is dating that image that you created, and they're not really dating you. So how could they be in love with you, which is what you wanted originally, if that's not even yourself, your true self? You follow me? Like, please comment down below if I'm explaining myself well. You have to be who you are in order for somebody else to love you. And a lot of times you are afraid to say the things that you want or the things that you don't want because you fear that your partner will leave you or that your friends won't like you anymore and won't want to hang out with you anymore or don't want to be in your life anymore. But guess what? If they don't like or agree with who you are and what you want, even if it's painful, it is better that you separate and that you walk out of each other's lives, whether it's a romantic partner or friends. Why? Because the true person and the other true person have to really, really match. You can't have like a fake image in a person. It's not real. You have to let go in order for the person who truly belongs in your life to come. And I know it sucks and it sounds really, really bad, because if you love someone or if you think you love someone, you don't want to let them go. But at some point, the truth of who you are needs to come out, because if you live a life of saying too many yeses when you want to say no, and that is not the true you, you will be miserable. You won't be happy. Your heart will be, it's like a little flame that your heart is going to start dying because you're not letting it be. You're not letting yourself be. Now, how do you know? How do you know what your boundaries are and who you are and what you want and what you don't want? How do you know? It is simple, but it's actually not easy, and it can change throughout time. So it is simple because all you have to do is set up time to think of yourself. I don't know, time when you're driving by yourself, when you are meditating, when you're taking a walk outside with your dog, or for me it's when I'm biking. I love biking. Times when you are alone, maybe before bed, unless you're super tired because you'll fall asleep. But when you have a quiet moment, ask yourself, what do I value? What are my values? Because a lot of times we don't know exactly what our values are. We just think that they're general. Oh, you value family, you value love, you value friendships, you value career. Okay, sure. But everybody, we're such individual people that we are all so different. So what makes you different? What do you value? Do you value your body, your health? Do you value your money that you work for? Do you value your home? Do you value your pets? Do you value your children, your parents, your coworkers, your friends, your mentors, your fitness, your nutrition? What are the things that you value? Once you have a clear list, your career, your your time alone, your vacation, once you are clear about what you value, you will know when something is getting compromised. You will know when there's a boundary that is breaking. You will know that when you are breaking your own boundaries, when you feel like something is wrong and you don't know what is going on, think, wait, what's happening here? I value my time, and somebody is asking too much time of me, and this is stressing me out. So what's happening here? Oh, okay, there's a boundary that needs to be addressed here. So then you go to the person and say, hey, I can't give you all this time because I have these other things going on. What I can do for you is this. Or I cannot do this at the moment. I am sorry. If they understand, great. If they get upset, that is not on you. I know that a lot of times we have fear that they will get upset and walk out of our lives or storm out or be rude or whatever. That part is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to say what you need to say in a respectful and loving way, but say no. And the rest, their reaction is their responsibility, not yours. You are only responsible for your actions, okay? Same thing when somebody tells you a boundary. When you need someone, when you need something and you ask and they say no, even if it hurts, you have to understand and say, okay. Or if you really don't agree with it or don't want it, you can choose to walk away from that person. You can say, okay, we don't match. You don't give me what I need. Maybe that means we are not meant to be in our lives, or we need some distance or a break or something. You need to also learn to accept boundaries. Okay, there has been times where I don't want to sound with my previous story that I was saying too many yeses, pleasing my ex-partner. No, there were times that I was also very demanding, or even, I don't want to use this word, but even manipulative, pouting or having a certain attitude if they didn't do what I wanted, or if they didn't try to make me feel a certain way, that is also, crossing somebody else's, trying to break somebody else's boundaries. So you need to learn to respect others too. It goes both ways. It's definitely, we're all people, and we all have a fence around our backyards, and we all need to respect that. So anyway, I hope that this video, this is kind of a long video, but there's so much more that needs to be said about boundaries. But just to recap, you need to make sure you know your values. You need to have a mental list of what they are. They can always be changing as time goes by and as we grow and have new experiences. But values will help us create boundaries. We need to communicate our boundaries in a respectful and loving way, but firm way. We need to say no when we want to say no. And we also need to respect when other people have boundaries and they communicate it with us. And don't make other people responsible for your feelings. If somebody says no and it bothers you and it makes you feel sad, upset, mad, don't make them responsible for it and think that they should make you feel happy. Nobody can make you feel happy, only you can make yourself happy. So, but you will be happier if you set some boundaries for yourself, okay? Anyway, remember, please like, share, and subscribe, and share your opinion right here. I'll see you next time.